Okay, let's get into this. We're doing a deep dive on, well, one of the weirdest situations in the entire 2025 NFL season.
Right.
A football game that, on paper, is meaningless. But in reality, it might hold the keys to the future of a modern dynasty.
We're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, of course.
Exactly. Their final game, Week 18, against their biggest rival, the Las Vegas Raiders. It's turned into this high-stakes battle for pride after just a catastrophic 5-game losing streak.
A streak that officially knocked them out of the playoff.
And you send over a whole stack of sources covering everything, the pain in the organization, the key players they've lost, and this really intense debate about what went wrong.
Yeah, and that's the mission today. We're going to go way beyond the headlines. We need to pull out the critical intelligence from these sources.
So not just the box score.
No, not at all. We're talking about the mechanics of this collapse. We have to look at the sudden tactical crisis from these injuries, how that completely messes with Andy Reid's offense, and, what this failure really means for a franchise that, until like 5 weeks ago, basically defined dominance.
So for you, the listener who knows this team inside and out, we're here to figure out what comes next.
Let's start with the immediate crisis.
Right. Kickoff is 4:25 p.m. Eastern in Las Vegas. The stakes are all about pride, snapping this awful losing streak, and maybe spoiling things for a bitter rival.
But that mission just got a lot harder. The sources this week are dominated by two major personnel blows.
The first one is, it's really ambiguous. It's the status of Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, the lightning-fast 22-year-old receiver. He's listed as doubtful.
And it's because of an illness that kept him out of every single practice this week.
All 3 sessions. And this doesn't feel like a standard flu. The silence from the team suggested something more.
And what did we get from head coach Andy Reid? His classic Friday one-liner.
We'll see.
That's it. But you have to connect the dots here, right?
Yeah.
Look back to the Week 17 loss against the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Worthy was active, but he was a total non-factor. Didn't catch a single one of his 3 targets.
So the thinking is he was already compromised then. This isn't just a 1-week thing. It's the end of a really tough season for him physically.
And that weakness at receiver is made so much worse by the other piece of news.
The one that's a sure thing. 2-time Pro Bowl offensive lineman Trey Smith is officially out. Ankle injury.
So losing a deep threat receiver is painful. But losing a core piece of your offensive line against a division rival that wants nothing more than to just, flatten Patrick Mahomes.
That's why the sources are calling it a massive loss up front.
Okay, but let me push back on that for a second. I get he's a Pro Bowler, but the Raiders' defense, while, they're hungry, they aren't exactly a top 5 unit this year. Is massive maybe a bit of an overstatement?
Not at all. And this is where we really get into the deep dive. Trey Smith isn't just any lineman, he's the Pro Bowl right guard. And in Andy Reid's system, the interior line, especially the guards, are critical for, 2 things. 1, protecting against pressure from the A and B gaps. 2, run blocking on those inside zone plays they use to set up the play action.
Right, the stuff their whole offense is built on.
Exactly. So you lose Smith, and you're forced into a big downgrade. You're probably sliding someone like Nick Allegretti into that spot against a guy like Max Crosby,
Who lives to cause chaos.
Regardless of the Raiders' record, that's what he does. So right away, the whole integrity of the pocket is compromised, which just feeds into this whole story of the Chiefs' offensive decline.
And that just pours gasoline on the rivalry fire, doesn't it? I mean, Raiders QB Kenny Pickett is talking about leadership, and this rivalry goes all the way back to the AFL in the 60s.
It does. And even though the Chiefs lead the all-time series, when these two teams meet, especially with nothing else to play for, it's about sending a message.
Absolutely. The history matters. But we really need to zoom in on Xavier Worthy's story, because it's the paradox that defines the Chiefs' entire offensive struggle this year.
Yeah, that contrast between his rookie year and this year is stark.
I mean, think about the excitement when he came in. First-round pick in 2024 out of Texas, and his whole identity was that record-breaking speed.
The 4.21 second 40-yard dash.
I mean, that's just supersonic. It's not just speed, it's a tactical weapon.
And in 2024, that weapon just exploded. As a rookie, they used him everywhere. 59 catches, 638 yards, 6 touchdowns through the air.
Plus the rushing game.
Right. 20 carries for over 100 yards and 3 more scores on the ground. He was this dynamic jet engine piece that just stretched defenses thin.
But then you look at 2025, the sources all confirm it's been a frustrating sophomore slump.
The numbers are way down. In 14 games, he's got 42 catches for 532 yards and just 1 touchdown.
Only 1, and his rushing attempts were cut in half. For a guy who's supposed to be the next big thing, that's a huge step back.
So this brings up a key question, right?
Yeah.
If his production was already down, why is losing him now considered such a crushing blow?
That's the core of it. What are the theories?
Well, the consensus points to a couple of things. One, defenses adjusted. They started playing 2 deep safeties to take away that speed. Or 2, it's just the normal ups and downs for a young guy. But the thing is, even when he's not catching the ball, he's doing something vital.
He's still performing a function.
A vital one.
And that function is the entire issue. Let's pivot to the tactical side of this. What is Andy Reid forced to do now without his main field stretcher?
Well, Reid's offense, it's a mix, It's part classic West Coast short timing routes and part modern RPO schemes where Mahomes has to make these split-second reads.
And for that to work, you need speed.
Speed is the oxygen. Worthy's real value is his gravity on the field. He's the guy who forces safeties to back up, 20, 25 yards off the line.
Okay.
And when those safeties are pulled back, it creates these huge open spaces underneath, the exact zones where Travis Kelce makes his living.
So without Worthy on the field, that gravity just disappears.
It's gone. The defense can squeeze the field. They can bring a safety down closer to the line, and all those throwing windows for Mahomes just shrink.
The defensive backs aren't afraid of the deep ball anymore.
Which means they can jump all the short routes. That's the mechanical reason everyone says this offense is sputtering.
And that problem is made so much worse because of the Trey Smith injury.
Exponentially worse. You need a clean pocket for those timing routes. If the inside protection breaks down instantly, Mahomes doesn't have that half second he needs to make the right read.
Which leads to sacks, hurried throws, all the things we've been seeing during this losing streak.
Exactly.
So if Worthy isn't there to create that space, what's the plan B? What's the next man up strategy here?
You should expect to see a lot more designed misdirection, a lot more motion.
So more work for someone like Hollywood Brown.
Probably. More targets for him, maybe using other guys on jet sweeps to try and mimic that deep threat. They have to freeze the secondary with trickery instead of pure speed.
The offense becomes more horizontal than vertical.
Yes, and that plays against Mahomes' biggest strength, which is pushing the ball downfield.
And the stats back this up. If you compare 2025 to their Super Bowl year in 2022, it's chilling.
What were they at back then?
They were averaging almost 30 points a game, 29.6 to be exact. The league stats for this season show that number has crashed to around 24 points per game.
Wow, 5 points a game may not sound like the end of the world, but that is the difference between an elite offense and, well, a pretty average one.
And the running game has declined too, so all the pressure is on Mahomes.
And it's not just the offense, right? Steve Spagnuolo's defense, which is all about these aggressive blitz packages, has started to show exposed cracks.
How so?
Well, their whole system relies on getting to the quarterback fast before the secondary has to cover for too long. But with injuries piling up, they're giving up way more yards per game this year than they did last year. The pass rush isn't getting home as quickly, or the guys on the back end are just getting worn down.
For anyone who's followed this team, this whole situation, it needs context.
Yeah.
Because the Chiefs aren't just another team, they're a legacy.
Right. This slide challenges the identity of an organization that's been around since 1960. 3 Super Bowls, including those back-to-back wins.
That legacy is tied to some huge figures and symbols. Arrowhead Stadium, which still holds the world record for loudest stadium.
142.2 decibels. I mean, that's insane.
Then you think about the icons. Len Dawson, the Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah.
The sheer terror of Derek Thomas getting 126.5 sacks.
Those guys set the standard.
And that standard flows right into today. Patrick Mahomes, over 25,000 career yards, multiple MVPs. Travis Kelce, who's basically transcended the sport.
Pop culture icon, SNL host, dating Taylor Swift, the whole thing.
And Chris Jones on defense, just an absolute game wrecker.
So for an organization with that pedigree, missing the playoffs in 2025, it's a profound wake-up call.
Especially after dominating the AFC West for so long.
Yeah. The landscape is shifting. You have rivals finally getting their act together. The Chargers with Justin Herbert, the Broncos rebuilding. They've been nipping at Casey's heels. It's a reminder that nothing lasts forever.
But, and this is the silver lining for fans, none of the sources are predicting a total collapse.
No, not at all. The collective wisdom is that they're going to bounce back strong in 2026.
The core is still there. Mahomes is only 30, right in his prime. Andy Reid always has tricks up his sleeve.
And they're specifically predicting a monster comeback year for Xavier Worthy. Young players learn from this stuff. But the biggest strategic advantage from this whole mess,
The draft pick.
they're going to have a high draft pick, which gives them two clear paths to get better fast.
And even this last game, this supposedly meaningless game, still has real consequences.
Oh, absolutely. A win on Sunday could really hurt the Raiders' momentum and, more importantly, mess with their draft position.
It's about taking back some control, sending a bitter message to your rival on your way out.
And the internal message is all about resilience, right? The fan sentiment is Arrowhead spirit never fades. The locker room is all next man up. It's about heart, not just stats.
So, to sum it all up for you as you watch this finale, you now know the real story. The offense is dealing with a double blow. Trey Smith is out, and their field stretcher, Xavier Worthy, is almost certainly out too. Tactically, you should expect to see Reed use misdirection and a more compressed, horizontal passing game. And historically, this team's legacy is built on overcoming adversity, but that legacy is being seriously tested right now.
It is. We've established that the offense broke down in 2025 because defenses stopped fearing the deep ball and started pressuring Mahomes up the middle. So that leaves you with a really important question to think about as the Chiefs head into this huge 2026 offseason. Does that deep foundation of perseverance demand they use that high draft pick on another speedster like Worthy, a true deep threat, to make the old system work again? Or does perseverance mean they have to prioritize foundational strength? Invest in the offensive line to protect Mahomes, stabilize the run game, and guarantee the health of the entire organization for the long run.
Speed versus foundation.
It's a huge choice, and the future of the dynasty really depends on which way they go.
A great tactical question to consider. We will definitely be analyzing that choice in the months to come. Until next time.